Welcome to the Lorraine Glick Auburn Senior Center. First, I would like everyone to rise and do the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. I would like to introduce Mignon Murray, the director of the Senior Center.
Good morning.
Also, believe that Bob Grossman, past selectman, is here. Could you stand, please? If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but those are the ones I know. We will start and go through the list by according to the ballot. The first speaker is on the Auburn Housing Authority. Alice Rhea, is she here? No. Okay. E. Helen Hanna, I know she's here.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Helene Hanna, and I'm running for the open seat on the Auburn Housing Authority. I'm a retiree from the town of Auburn. I was the assistant treasurer, handling all the health insurance for the employees as well as the retirees. Helping seniors was my favorite part of the job. If elected, I will work to get funding from the state and federal government, including applying for any available grants. I will also push the Housing Authority to get more housing for seniors by turning Julia Bancroft School, which will be soon closing, into senior housing. I'll see that people in housing get treated fairly by making sure the office works for the people and not against them, and also want to ensure that all of the housing under the care of the authority is well maintained. I would like to thank the Auburn Council on Aging and the Senior Center for giving me this opportunity to participate in this informative program. Also, many thanks to all who signed my papers, giving me a chance to express my thoughts. A special thanks to Wayne Page, who has been my mentor throughout my campaign. He's the best. Please vote for me for the Housing Authority on Tuesday, May 19th. Thank you.
I forgot to state that you will only have 5 minutes to speak. There will be Brenda Paquette, who is sitting to the left of me at that table, and you will watch her. She'll raise the card when you have 1 minute left, and then 5 minutes, you're done. Okay, the next person on the library trustee, Auburn Free Public Library, for 3 years, Nan H. Johnson. Is she here? Bruce R. Mendelson, is he here? Moderator Charlie Baker, is he here? School Committee, Wayne Page, I know he's here.
Good morning. Excuse me. My name is Wayne Page. I live at 90 Old Common Road. I have 3 daughters and a wife. I have been in, I'm not going to bring up all the things I've done in this town because you wouldn't have a forum. So I just would like to say I'm unopposed this time, but I feel that I had to get up and at least speak enough to let you know that I am always grateful for the support that all the residents in this town has given me for the past 9 years as a school committee member with the voting and helping keep me in office. I would like to say I feel that the school committee is doing much, much better over the years than when I had first started. I think we got a pretty good group. We got a couple of things we need to get straightened out. And I always tell the truth. I always answer the hard questions. And I'll always be there for the residents of the town of Auburn and our children. We have a new high school. Well, not so new, but newish. And now we're getting a new middle school. We're getting all new technology for our children. We're getting all kinds of great upgrades to our schools for our children. And thanks you, as the taxpayers, because if it wasn't for you, your children wouldn't be getting what they're getting today. All we can do is make policy and help move things along. And it's always, always a pleasure to come up to the senior center, and I'd like to thank the Council of Aging Committee for having me here today. Like I said, I'm not really going to say too much because I am unopposed, but I would still like you to vote for me just to show me that I am supported and to keep supporting me. And anytime any residents in this town of Auburn has questions or needs answers about the schools or the housing authority, you can call me at 508-832-3581. I am always available. I am the only one that ever has office hours on the school committee. And I will continue to do my best. And I think that's enough of your time, and I want to thank all of you. And good luck to all the rest of the candidates that are running today. It's a hard thing to do when you have to run a campaign. And no matter who they are, I always sign their papers because I know how difficult it is. It's very, very hard to run a campaign. You all deserve credit for doing it and standing up for the people of this town. Thank you.
Before I call the next candidate, I forgot Cheryl Westerman. Please stand. Without her, we'd be lost. Thank you. Is Dorothy Sutton here? School committee.
Good morning, everyone. So I actually did prepare a speech, even though I'm running unopposed, because I am somewhat new to Auburn and the political arena. So thank you for inviting me to participate this morning. As stated, my name is Dorothy Sutton, and I am running unopposed for the one-year unexpired term on the school committee, which is the seat that I currently hold by appointment. As my fellow committee members have noted, and Dr. Brunell has stated in many of our meetings, 2015 has been termed the year of transitions, and it's a really exciting time to be a part of the school district. Auburn continues to excel in all areas of education, and that is no accident. We have fantastic leadership and administrative team that pours over every decision as well as every penny of grant money and tax income to make sure that each step in our journey keeps us moving forward with maximum efficiency and progress in mind. Since my appointment 9 months ago, I have immersed myself in as much of the committee activities as possible. Not only do I have a perfect attendance record for committee meetings, but I have also served on the school reuse committee, assisted in the ABA contract negotiations, and will participate in the assistant principal interviews for the Swanson Road Intermediate School. I have learned more than I could have ever imagined this past year, and yet I still have so much more to learn. But of one thing I am certain, I am proud of all that I have seen. Our kids are in an amazing setting with incredible staff and faculty, and I'm extremely grateful to our voters and town management for being so supportive of the school system. So that said, given that I was just standing up here last year, when approaching election season, a very close friend asked, "Are you sure you want to do it again? You're always so busy and so tired." And it's true, positions on Auburn town boards are not for the faint of heart. Between family, work, and the committee, time even to sleep is at a premium. And I would not have been able to make it through my freshman year on school committee without the support and patience of my sweet little family. So why do I do it? What drives me? I believe that our children are our most precious asset and simultaneously our most vulnerable subset of the population. Kids often can't advocate for themselves. It's up to their families, but also to the community at times and their schools to advocate for them. In 2000, my only brother died from a drug overdose after battling severe bouts of depression during his preteen and teenage years. A few years before his death, while he was in rehab, I asked why I ever got into all that stuff. And he said, well, I suppose I ought to be good at something. He never found his place in the world. His death broke me. But as time passed, my mother reminded me that while pain in this life is inevitable, misery is optional. So I decided to make it pain with a purpose. Whether it be through school committee, Auburn Youth and Family Services, just volunteering at PTO events, or even helping out in my daughter's class at Mary D. You can count on that drive never changing in me. Sometimes it boils down to just one person believing in a kid, telling them that they're okay, telling them that they matter. And that could be a teacher, a band leader, a soccer coach. Everybody needs a tether, and everybody needs a place. The school system has the responsibility to educate our children, and that's a given. But there's overwhelming evidence that supports the idea that the best education models address the whole self in order to prepare our kids to go out into the world not only as intelligent, but also confident, healthy, successful young adults. Auburn schools do a great job of providing a support structure that embraces not only their intellectual advances, but also physical, emotional, and social needs, helping kids figure out where their strengths lie and where they excel. The current committee is unified in our desire to pursue what is truly best for our kids, above and beyond academics. I personally will continue on this path unapologetically in an effort to continue building this great community together, fostering the best environment for our children, their families, and all town residents. If you support me in this vision, please vote for me May 19th. Thank you.
Judge Gobi for school committee.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Just enjoying the traffic on Route 20 and Route 12. They practice to put the road down, pick it back up again, and put it down again. That's something they've been doing for a couple of years now. I'm not sure when that's going to be done. But anyway, yeah, I'm George Scobie, chairperson of the Auburn School Committee. I've been on for 3 years now. Enjoying my time on the committee. Enjoying the camaraderie and some of the things that we get done as a committee. I'm all about education, whether it's educating my students, educating my children, advocating for the children of Auburn. I wasn't always that way. I wasn't always into the education thing. And I think once I realized how important education was, that's when I took more of a liking of school committee and the politics that go behind education. I think it's important that we provide the best education for all of our students, not just the ones who excel, not the ones who are best at sports, not the ones who are best at the arts, but all of our students, the ones who struggle, as well as all the other ones who excel. It's important that we reach all of them. So for the past 3 years, that's been my goal. It will continue to be my goal to make sure that we reach every child in Auburn, whether it's their interest is in the arts, whether their interest is in vocational education, whatever direction that we have to steer them in, it'll be my job and that of my committee to assist the superintendent, the leadership team, and the wonderful teachers that we have in Auburn to make sure that all of our students have an opportunity. Secondly, it's my responsibility to advocate for you, the taxpayers. So while we try to provide the best education for our students, we also have to be aware of your needs, and we have to be aware of what your goals are for our students, what you think should be happening in Auburn. And that's why it's always been my take on things that I want to build consensus. I want to find what you, the taxpayers, want for our students, figure out what our leadership wants for the students, put the two together, build consensus, and go from there. Because, frankly, education in Auburn is very expensive. As you know, anyone who was at town meeting saw that pie chart. A big chunk of that pie goes to education. and rightfully so. But you should have a voice in this. That's my firm belief. So I consider myself involved, yet very approachable. So if at any time any of you need to speak to me on any matter concerning Auburn Public Schools, feel free, seek me out, give me a phone call, an email, stop into one of the meetings. I'm more than willing to talk to you. I didn't get into this to showboat, to think I'm better than anybody else. I got into it to help out my children, your children, your grandchildren. That's why I'm in it. So if there's something you think you can do to help me, to change my mind about something, feel free to approach me on that. And that being said, we're unopposed here as a school committee. I think that speaks strongly to the job that you feel that we're doing. And I appreciate that support. I appreciate the support that you've given us as a committee, as a school system. Really, at town meeting, time after time, when we seek something for our children, you guys are there to help pay for it. You're backing us all the way. So I appreciate that very much. I'd also appreciate your vote on May 19th, and glad I could make it here to be with you this morning. Thank you.
Next on the list, Board of Selectmen for 3 years, Doreen Goodrich. She will also be speaking for Kenneth Holstrom, as he will not be able to be present.
Good morning. I too would like to thank the Council on Aging for hosting this annual event. Thank you to all of you here and those seeing this on Auburn Community Cable. I also want to thank my boss who gave me the day off to be here. It's a busy time at the State House, but Senator Moore, who's a former selectman from the town of Millbury, gets it. He understands a deep commitment to public service, a sincere desire to represent the residents and have their voices heard. He has seen my passion for what I do as your selectman, and I thank him for his ongoing support and guidance. 6 years ago, before family, friends, and supporters, I raised my right hand and took an oath. That oath said, "Do you solemnly swear to uphold your duties and responsibilities fairly and impartially as a member of the Board of Selectmen to the best of your ability?" I proudly and loudly responded, "I do." That oath is more than just words. I say with confidence that I have served you with honesty, respect, fairness, and integrity. I have done this with enthusiasm and a true commitment to the office I hold. I have always been eager not only to hear residents' concerns, but to share my views and thought processes on important business that comes before the board. I have strived for fairness, and a cornerstone of that has been a willingness to engage with each and every community member who wishes to speak with me. I have come to know so many residents, especially those in the room today, on a level greater than selectman constituent. After 6 years, so many of us have become friends. We have sat and talked while having ice cream or at one of the many dinners, and we've talked. We've talked about Auburn. We've talked about it always coming back to our passion and our love for Auburn. I'm proud to be a candidate for re-election to the Board of Selectmen. It's been a privilege and an honor. I'm proud of what we have achieved over the last 6 years, but there's much work left to be done. I have deeply enjoyed the opportunity to work towards meaningful change for our community, and I respectfully ask for your vote May 19th so I can continue to fight for Auburn. Thank you. And now I'm going to read a statement by Mr. Holstrom, so it's in the third person, so. Good morning. Oh, wrong one, that's mine. Good morning. My name is Ken Holstrom, and I'm proud to have been your selectman for the last 3 years. I love the town of Auburn, and I have dedicated much of my life to serving this town as a call firefighter for more than 40 years, as emergency management director, and a past member of the school committee and longtime elected town meeting member. I believe in giving back to the community that has given so much to me. I have been an Auburn resident my entire life, and as many of you know, the Holstrom family has a long history of service to the town. Since day one, I have been an active and contributing member of the Board of Selectmen. I am currently Vice Chair, and I have proudly fought for and supported initiatives and policies that benefit the residents and stakeholders of this community. While I believe no selectman at any point can know everything involved in our duties, I have never hesitated to turn to Town Manager Julie Jacobson and CFO Ed Kazanovich, whom I consider the strongest leadership team, not only in central Massachusetts, but throughout the state. As a selectman, I pledge to continue to work with town administration and to represent the residents of this community with pride, dedication, and commitment. I personally apologize for not being here this morning, but I had a significant prior work commitment preventing me from attending. I thank you for the opportunity to participate today through this statement, and I respectfully ask for your vote on Tuesday, May 19th. I would be proud to continue as your selectman for the next 3 years. Thank you.
Is Stephen Consilvio here? Running for Board of Selectmen.
Hi, I'm Steve Consilvio. I'm running for Board of Selectmen. Thank you all for coming out today. I'm actually running for something bigger than the Board of Selectmen, and I'm running not against the incumbents at all. I'm actually running for a different vision of how we operate our society. If you listen to the previous speakers, we know that there's a huge difference between what the needs of the children are, the needs of the elderly, the needs of teenagers, the needs of working people. And the thing that holds us all together essentially is money, because everybody has to earn money, pay for things, do a job to produce something that other people will consume. And my background is in history, and I've owned a business for about 25 years. And somewhere along the line, I guess as a history major, I've always been sort of a thinker. But you start thinking about why things are the way they are. And on one level, things are great. I mean, we live in white middle-class America. It's a very nice place to be. We have electricity, we have running water, we have, a lot of the hallmarks of civilization we have. But we also know if you go into the inner cities, you go to Baltimore, you go to LA, there's people sleeping on the streets, there's people that don't have jobs, there's, in our own neighborhood, you've got people being kicked out of their houses and foreclosed upon, losing their jobs, stress. I was talking to a gentleman today who, just like my daughter, applies to 10 schools to go to college, not because he has 10 favorites, but because you've got to go to the one that'll give you the best financial package. Because somehow we have gone from, after the New Deal in the World War II, in the GI Bill, we went from the GI Bill, where basically we took a bunch of people that probably had no prospect for going to college, to today, where we've essentially put the next generation into debt before they begin. And that's not right. There is something really wrong with the way we're running things. So the question becomes, how do you fix such an overwhelming problem? And the answer is, ironically, something that I ignored for many, many years. And the opening step has to be a group effort at the local level. Because Tip O'Neill used to say that all politics is local. The reality is all economics is local. And the only way we can fix the economic system is as a town, we sort of circle the wagons, and we can say to Wall Street, the international corporations, and Washington, D.C., we're going to do it differently. We are going to create an economic system locally that actually serves the people that live in the town. So there isn't any need to go begging to Washington or the State House for a grant to do anything. If we think it's a good idea, we should be able to do it with our collective power. The whole purpose of local government back 300 years ago, that was the whole idea, was that you were a community and you had the resources with mutual assistance within the community. You didn't go out and borrow money to build the school, you built the school. Right? We say we have a balanced budget, but we don't have a balanced budget. We rely on the state money to have our own funding to do the, to build, to get through the annual thing, annual budget. If we want to build a school, we have to go out and borrow money, but we're essentially borrowing our own money. The new high school costs, roughly $25 million. When Jefferson purchased, the Louisiana purchase was about $22 million. So somehow, in the course of 200 years, we went from being able to purchase a half a continent for $25 million to purchasing one building. The middle school basically costs twice as much as the high school. So the rate of inflation is fantastic that we're experiencing, and that is the essential problem that we're all experiencing. And the only way to fight inflation is to fight it at the local level, which there's a whole lot more that goes to this story, but I guess I'm at the end of my 5 minutes. So all I'm asking for is give me a chance, put me on the board. I'm just going to have to work with everybody else. I'm not really running against them, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
I always said that when you make a mistake, that's why they put erasers on pencils and also on pens now. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lillian Halpin, and I'm on the Council on Aging. Town clerk for 3 years is Matthew Armendo here. Is Deborah Grimo here? Please come up. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Grimo. I want to thank the Council on Aging for sponsoring this forum. I also want to welcome all the wonderful seniors, residents of Auburn, and all the candidates here today. As I was deciding what the most effective message I would give today, I was thinking of the Mass Town Clerks Association Professional and Personal Code of Ethics. This is the code I accepted when I became an assistant town clerk, and I follow today and every day. We do hereby subscribe to the following principles and ethics which we affirm will govern our personal conduct as municipal clerks. First, to uphold constitutional government and the laws of our community. This assures municipal clerks to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as well as the Charter and the bylaws of the Town of Auburn. I have not and will never tell you that I, as a clerk, can do something that the Charter or the bylaws do not allow. There have been some suggestions and ideas thrown out during this campaign that cannot be done. What I can and will tell you that I will accept and thoughtfully consider any good idea by anyone and will advocate and help guide through the entire process. For example, Mr. Hammond is looking to reduce fees for veterans. Currently, our bylaws specify that the town meeting sets the fees. The new bylaws, which are awaiting approval, gives the authority to the Board of Selectmen. The irony here is if Mr. Hammond had continued to run for selectman, like he had planned, he would be in the position to set fees. Second, to conduct our public and private life as to be an example to our fellow citizens. I have not, nor will I ever, criticize or disrespect anyone. I have clearly demonstrated this during this entire campaign. I have and will remain positive. I have and will continue to be truthful, and I will continue to respect everyone. Third, to impact our profession, those standards of quality and integrity that conduct the affairs of our offices and shall be above reproach and merit public confidence in our community. Treating everyone with respect and consideration is greatly appreciated by those people having any type of contact with the clerk's office. Fourth, to be ever mindful of our neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal services to all, and to extend the same treatment we wish to receive ourselves. After I declared my intention to run for town clerk, I had to help other candidates begin their campaign. I treated them in the same professional, courteous manner that I treated every other candidate for other offices. Believe me, if I didn't, you would have heard about it by now. Fifth, I record to which is true and preserved that which is entrusted to us as if it were our own, and this would involve being keeper of the vault. The town clerk is responsible for the preservation and conservation of historic and current records of the town of Auburn. The vault contains records from the 1700s to the present. Disposition schedules need to be followed to make room for those documents which need to be retained as permanent records. The town clerk is the records manager for the town. 6, to strive consistently to improve the administration of the affairs of our office, consistent with applicable laws and through sound management practices to produce continued progress and so fulfill our responsibility to our community and others. This really is the nuts and bolts of the clerk's office, and the area where Mr. Hammond and I differ. I believe that everyone in the office has valuable ideas, and to make the office better and more efficient. As a leader, I do not believe in top-to-bottom management. I believe in teamwork, and should not be just from the leader and then left up to the processes. Let me state here, I am not a processor. Starting with John Riley in the 1920s, Doris Hill, Beth Prouty, and Ellen Gabry were all hands-on clerks, and I will be a hands-on clerk working full-time in the office. With my experience, I know there are limitations on many ideas, and they should be accurately explored and evaluated. For example, the mobile clerk is a grand idea. The fact is, at this time, not every function of the clerk's office can be off-site as suggested. I will be 100% committed to the duties of the clerk's office and the people of Auburn. I'm the only candidate with experience, and experience matters. One thing that Mr. Hammond and I agree on is hiring of Julie Jacobson. During the town forum, he stated that we took a candidate with no experience and we hired her. What he's forgetting or not telling you is she was the assistant manager for the city of Worcester before coming to Auburn. She had experience, she had qualifications, and she had the education, just like me as the assistant town clerk. I have the experience, education, and qualifications. I have been preparing myself to become your town clerk and graduate from a 3-year program of certified municipal clerk this July. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your vote on Tuesday, May 19th. Thank you.
The next candidate is Nicholas V. Hammond, running for town clerk.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? All right, so the last forum, I didn't smile at all. I watched the tape, and it was terrible. So my dad's here to make sure I smile. My dad's here to make sure I'm more pleasant, because sometimes when I get in that business mindset, I just kind of lock in and go. So if anyone thought I was kind of arrogant, I watched the tape, I'd have to agree, and I apologize. But, you know, my message and my ideas did come across. I want to thank Matt Amendo, who has actually backed out of the race. He will be on the ballot, but he has endorsed me. I expressed my ideas, and he liked them. So thank you to Matt Amendo and his family and friends for supporting me. I want to thank Wayne Page, who's been very good to me this go-around. Wayne and I don't always agree, but you know what? There's nobody more of a straight shooter than Wayne Page. And, you know, I'll respect anyone, whether I agree with them or not, who just says it straight. Carl Westerman, Tim Hicks, Mr. and Mrs. Horgan in the back with their Elect Nick Hammond shirts, the Senior Center, the Council on Aging, and all of you who came out. In my notes it says smile, so, and now we move on. Right now, the clerk runs. The clerk handpicks her successor and nothing changes. And they don't do a bad job. So I take nothing away from the clerk's office because they do a very good job. But I am 100% committed to continuing to do the great job that the clerk's office does, because it's an office, it's not a person. You know, the president is an office, it's not a person. And they explain that to the president when he comes in. And it's the same concept here. If I'm elected, I want to remind everybody, because the current clerk is retiring, no one loses their job. All the expertise in the office, all the experience, all the knowledge will remain. But I am going to bring in some new ideas which differentiate myself from anyone else in the race. And my opponent did mention a few of them, and I hate to hear it can't be done. When I ran for selectman, I said no new taxes, we're not going 2.5. They told me it couldn't be done. If you do it, the state will cut your aid. We did it. Now the policy exists where they don't go up 2.5. They told us we couldn't consolidate health care. We did it. Saved the town $2 million, and every employee got a check for $560 as their part of the savings. Wayne Page was huge in getting the labor to agree on that, and it saved countless jobs. So what differentiates me? Mobile town clerk. Many of you may have heard of it. My concept is I want to bring the services that we have at Town Hall, okay, in the town clerk's office, bring them here to the senior center and all the senior housing facilities where the people can't get out. And there are many of them because I've spent a lot of time there lately. And anything we can do at the clerk's office, I want to be able to do there. Now, can it happen tomorrow, is the day I take over? No. But if I remember CCD correctly, the only laws that are written in stone are the 10 Commandments. So if bylaws need to be updated, if laws need to be changed, Senator Moore is here. I'm going to work with the senator, the state representative. If we want to do it, we can do it, because it's not written on the 10 Commandments that thou shalt not have clerk services at senior center. The other idea I have is Auburn High School mobile, Auburn High School work program. I love this idea. And actually, many years ago, the Auburn town did hire students. I'm going to reduce my salary by $5,000, so it's coming out of my pocket. And I want to create an internship and summer work program for the high school kids. Now, this doesn't cost the taxpayers any more money or anything else like that. They're going to help us with the mobile town clerk, okay? They're going to help at the senior center. They're going to help at town hall. It's a phenomenal idea. Think of how great that's going to look on a resume when kids apply for college, for poli-sci, and they can say, I've worked in municipal government. I've worked at town hall. Think about how great that's going to be. And it's your tax dollars, so let's put them in the kids' pockets. So when your son or daughter asks you for $20, tell them to go to the clerk's office and get a job. You know what I mean? The other thing with the discounts for veterans. This is not something I think can be done overnight. It's going to take a lot of work. There's no doubt about it. And again, I go to the thing, if bylaws need to be updated, if we need to go to the Board of Selectmen, I'm sure the board would support such a program. I mean, it would be, I can't imagine what the mindset would be not to support discounts for veterans. Talking to other people, there should be some grant money, which we'll have to work at. I don't anticipate getting all this stuff in my first week. I don't anticipate getting in the first month. But if we have a desire to do it, if you guys want to keep doing the good stuff the clerk's office does, I'm 100% committed to that. I'm willing to work with everyone in the office, and I'm going to be there 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, whatever it takes to do a great job for the day-to-day operation of the clerk. I will be there. I will commit my life to this. I've done a lot of work to have to separate my other businesses to make this a priority. But if you want to do a good job and then do more, well, let's stop saying we can't do it and say, how can we do it? Let's change the law. Let's update our bylaws. They just did. These things can be changed. These are human barriers that where if you have the desire, we can get past them. My last point is this, the clerk retires, the clerk picks a successor, and nothing changes. And they do a good job, so I take nothing away. But I think we fought a war called the Revolutionary War to get away from the mindset that the next in line should just be the next in charge. As a country, as Americans, we've rejected the idea that the next in line is the next in charge because they're the most qualified. George Washington had no experience running a country. He took an infant nation to the greatest country in the world in 200 years. He started it. The monarchy of Britain's been around for thousands. So as Americans, I say the next in line does not necessarily mean the next in charge. And if you believe in elections, you need two people to be in an election. You need two people for a democracy, because if no one runs, you can't have anyone else. I truly love this town. I was born and raised here. Class in '97, Bryn Mawr, JB, Auburn Middle. I delivered newspapers all over Precinct 2. And I have been involved in keeping Auburn warm. I've been involved in Auburn Little League softball, Auburn Dancing with the Stars champion 2011. And I worked really hard to stop that thing down there, the apartment buildings. I don't know if any of you remember, but the town tried to sneak that in. And I was the one who went to all the doors with flyers to get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to smile a lot more now. But with that being said, if you think it can't be done, then I guess I'm not the person for you. But if you want to keep doing the great job this town does at the clerk's office, but then do that much more, if you want to have a can-do attitude instead of a can't-do-it attitude, please vote for me on May 19th. Thank you.
In closing, I wish to thank all of you for coming, and good luck to all the candidates. Now you can enjoy your coffee and have your question-answer period while you're having that, because that is the end of this program. And don't forget to vote on May 19th. Thank you very much.